Welcome everybody to Student of the Path, Journey into Homelessness. Well, it's been about 6 months since I made my last video when I had just become an Anagarika, and the last 6 months have been pretty interesting. In many ways, life as an Anagarika is not too much different than life as a resident, regular lay resident. And an Anagarika is not much more than a lay resident who is on the path, to being ordained. So my life hasn't changed too much in that regard, although there's been some interesting experiences once you start to wear what was so aptly called a dress. About a month ago, I was in town doing a couple of chores for the monastery, and I was stopped at a Subway to get lunch because I wasn't going to make it back in time. And I'm in line after I ordered, and I hear, "What's with the dress, man?" And I turn around, and there's this big burly like guy who looks like he should have a kilt and be in like the hills of Scotland. Big burly contractor guy and his friend, and it wasn't like in a mean way. It wasn't. He wasn't trying to be vicious or anything like that. It was just totally curious as to who is this person who's coming in wearing what he's wearing, and like I've never seen anything like that in my small little town of Romney, West Virginia. So I kind of smiled at him, and I said, "Oh, I'm in training to be a Buddhist monk. There's a monastery, up in Highview, about 40 minutes east." And he kind of looked at me, and he shook his head like this, and he just walked away. Just totally, just very interesting experience. I've never yet had an experience out that was very negative, that was very abusive at all. Mostly it's people who are curious. I've had somebody come up, I was in a Costco helping with retreat shopping, and a guy came up and he says, I'm not trying to, I don't mean to be rude or anything, but are you one of them Hare Krishnas? And and I smiled and I said, "No, I'm in training to be a Buddhist monk." And he says, "Oh, okay, thanks." And he wished me well in my journey, in my towards becoming a monk. Only once did we meet somebody who actually knew that we were Buddhists. Most people don't have no clue, and they just ask because they're so curious as to who these people are that are so oddball compared to the people that we deal with in our day-to-day lives. So that's been a fairly consistent occurrence. Mostly it's just kind of double takes. People are just walking. We're in Walmart or whatever. They're just walking, and all of a sudden they see it out of the corner of their eye. Or they look, but they don't recognize exactly what they see, and then they're like, and then they just keep walking. Some of the funniest responses that I've seen are from little girls, actually. Little girls who have like the biggest faces, like all these kind of faces. Like, what is it? What are these guys doing wearing dresses? It's kind of funny. So I just smile at them and wave and stuff like that. So I've also had a little bit of some experiences with Buddhists as well. Buddhists specifically, cultural Buddhists like Sri Lankan people. They are the ones who definitely know what an Anagarika is and what that means, and it's led to me starting to be treated a little differently. And being treated a little differently is something that I knew is coming down the pike, especially when you become a monk. And it's been a little awkward, but I've, trying to get used to it. The one experience that really comes to mind is we went to a house. We were invited to come to a house, and the monks sat at their table, and since I'm not a monk yet, I had my own little table, and I had 20 people around me, including one guy like right here, just standing there like this, almost like he was a servant. And it's like I couldn't believe it. I felt like, so this is what being a queen or a king must feel like, where you're sitting there eating while people are are waiting on you and wanting to see what you need and all this stuff. So it was a really weird experience for sure. Um, but this is this is the way it is. People are overjoyed, and I think to myself, all the times that I've been able to help a monastic and do good things, and even not even for monastics, but just for anybody in general, that feeling that I get for helping people and going out of my way to help people is a good feeling. So when the feelings of weirdness come up with, and people bowing to me and stuff like that, when all those feelings come up where it's just not quite used to it just yet, that's what I think about. Is my own feelings of goodwill and of joy in my experiences with monastics, and I hope as I ordain and become a monastic that I can live up to the ideals of what being a monastic is, and so I can be worthy of people feeling the same way about me that I felt about the monastics in my life. So that's pretty much it for I guess the little stories and experiences. In terms of, I guess, my own, how I've been feeling regarding this coming close to ordination, which is in 2 months. Oh, I forgot to say exactly why I'm doing this video. Because as of tomorrow, which is Monday, September 7th, I'll be here a year. So technically this is my year video, just to recap everything. So going back to, hello bug, hanging out in my eye. But now that I've done this aside, going back to Anagarika and my feelings on it, I would say the first 5 months, 6 months, I was maybe like 90% yes, I want to do this, and there's just maybe a little bit of 10% like, well, maybe, I don't know, let's see how it goes. And that's pretty much been eradicated by 6 months. By pretty much March, April, I was 100% sure that this is what I want to do. Will it be the rest of my life? I don't know. Nobody can tell. I only know, I don't know what I'll become, only know what I am. So at this point, I'm greatly looking forward to ordination. It's been something now that I've been thinking about. This day where I don the red has been something I've been thinking about on and off for like 5 years now. And for it to be 2 months away, October 31st, Halloween 2015, is something that like I'm really starting to get that kind of like, oh, it's almost there. Like I want it to be tomorrow so I can move forward. But the preparation for it is ongoing in terms of memorizing a lot of Pali, memorizing the ordination procedures, the the requests that I make to Bhante and the things that I'm going to be chanting, and also memorizing the Dasadhamma, the 10 things that the Buddha said that someone who has gone forth should always remember. So I'm doing a lot of memorizing, and that's something that I haven't done in a long, long time. In these past 6 months, as I've really started to get into learning Pali, as I've really started to get into the memorization, it's been retraining my mind to learn how to learn. I'm 37 years old now, and I'm not old, but I'm 37 years old, and it's been a long, long, long time since I've been in college, let alone high school, and doing these things like memorization, learning a language, all that. So it's taken a while, but my brain is finally starting to get into that gear of being able to memorize, being able to learn, and do all these kind of things. So that's been, a large part of my preparation. And also mentally just, coming to realize that, as the Dasadhamma says, I will have to behave differently. I will, my life is dependent on others, which has been an interesting thing. I'm going to do a blog post coming up soon about how, well, once I become a monk, clothes, food, medicine, shelter I'm totally dependent on other people. And right now that I can still spend money, I think to myself, oh my God, it's going to be cold. I might need a hat. I should get a hat. And like all these things, it's been an interesting thing, way to look and see how the mind is reacting to um, moving into homelessness. And it's a journey that I'm looking forward to, as we continue. So obviously, once I ordain, I'll make another video, and I'll continue to make videos about my journey. And then probably after a time, once I become a bhikkhu, it'll probably turn into me doing videos, Dhamma videos and stuff like that. I don't know. That's quite a while away. We're not there yet. So let's see. At this point, we're coming close to the end. So again, 2 months to my ordination. I will be Samanera at that point, which is not much different than an Anagarika. Samanera really takes on one extra precept, which is to not use money, and then they wear red. So I will look exactly like the monks, with the exception of the one. Sometimes you see a monk wear the outer robe, the sangati, which is the third robe they consider it, and that's something that only bhikkhus have. So I won't have that for a year, but otherwise I'll look exactly like a monk. So it would behoove me to act like a monk and to realize that, now especially now that I'm wearing these robes, I really need to drill it into myself that it is a different, a different mode of life now. And how I behave, how I act is going to be scrutinized and looked at and all of this stuff. I just think to myself, half the times I'll notice that just as a layperson, I'll watch how the monks eat and how the monks do this and how the monks do that. And now it's dawning on me, I'm like, oh, people are going to start doing that to me too. So I have to make sure, that I am as good of an example as I can be, for sure. So I guess that's about it. I can't think of anything. Every time I do one of these videos, I say I want to make like an outline, and really to discuss what I want to discuss. But for some reason, I just like doing it this way, just sitting down in front of the camera, seeing what comes out. I think it's a little bit more genuine that way. So that's about it. I mean, here I'm at Bhavana. It's about 85 some odd degrees in my forest. The last time you saw the forest, there was no leaves. You could see the mountain in the background, but obviously once the forest cover comes in, you can't see that. But here I am at Bhavana, and it's about to start to get to fall soon, which I'm going to enjoy. Going to be nice to see my mountain again. Nice to start up the wood stove in my kuti and all that stuff, and then go from heating to freezing. So I guess that's it, my friends. So it's good, as always, to talk to you on Facebook and my blog and email and all of that kind of stuff. I will continue to do these videos. It's been amazing to me how, it's been amazing to me how the internet has come into real life, because there's been 4, 5, 6 people who know me from Reddit or from my blog or from anything. They'll come to a retreat and they'll say, oh, you're Jayanta. Yeah, oh yeah, I know you from your blog. I follow your blog. I'm interested in ordaining. I love your videos. They've been so helpful, all this kind of stuff. So it's really been a good justification for me that, is kind of justifies that I've been doing this, all these years for a good reason, not just to hear myself speak and to be on YouTube and all that stuff. But so the reason why I started doing these in the first place is become a good reason that's justified, and that is helping people. So I'm happy that I will continue to do this, for those who will come before me and those who are interested, like all my friends and a lot of my family who have no idea what this life is about and what I'm going through, to kind of give them a little hint into all of this stuff. So friends, until next time, Sukhi Hantu or Sukhi Hotu. See, I'm learning the Pali now. And that means may you be happy. And Te Patapada puphatu, which means may your practice flourish. So, until next time, thank you.